Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, chosen, I want to talk to you all. The question is, are you really about that spiritual life? Many of you have heard people say you ain't about that life. Are you really about that spiritual life? Because it comes with sacrifice. It comes with ridicule. It comes with all out mirrors that some people just ain't ready to look at. But are you about that spiritual life? Because see, the chosen seed, you have a divine assignment that only you can fulfill. And the reason why you was chosen for that position is because you're going to be called to do some things that most people would not be able to do because they are so worried about what the world thinks of them that they will never take on that assignment. And the Most High Mother and Father knew this. And this is why you was created with the DNA, with the energetic signature, with the tenacity, the intellect, the wisdom, the life experience. You were created for that particular assignment. But are you really about that spiritual life? Because one thing that I've come to understand on my journey is that my assignment has been to be a voice, right? We always talking about, I speak about the chosen being a part of one body. Some of you are the legs, the feet, the foot soldiers. Some of you are the brains, the intellect. Some of you are the ears, the ones that hear, specific messages. Some of you are the mouthpieces that's supposed to bring forth particular messages. Some of you are the hands that's supposed to create particular things. Wherever you stand in the body, you all have particular assignments. And some assignments are easier to fulfill than others. But it's still hard for the average person who is not a chosen seed, regardless of what your assignment is. And when I look at my position, I definitely know that I am a voice. I am a vessel that's here to bring messages, that's going to shake some things up, that's going to make a whole lot of people uncomfortable. But I had to really embrace the fact that I had to be about this spiritual life. I couldn't have one foot in and one foot out, worried about, when I was working as a registered nurse, I wouldn't be able to take on this assignment today because I would be too concerned about what are people going to think? Is it a conflict of interest? Can I lose my career? Will people judge me? So I had to, the Most High made sure that I was in alignment with my position by practically shoving me into it, right? But the Most High knows best. And so I accepted my assignment. We all have the free will to resist, but I accepted my assignment. And so in this position, there are messages that are channeled through me that I am called to bring forward that even I am like, man, that one is deep. That one is controversial. That one is going to bring a lot of pushback. Folks might not be ready for it, but when the Most High says speak, I speak. When the Most High says this is a message that needs to be heard to awaken the sheeple, the sleeple, I speak. And I understand that what comes along with it is, there's a polarity to everything. There's going to be a number of people who will embrace it and who will say, man, I never saw it from that perspective. And wow, you helped to open up my eyes to something new. And now I want to look further into this, or XYZ, or you just clarified something that was, downloaded into my spirit. But then there's the other side where you'll have people that's like, you're wrong, or that's not of God, or you're judging, or what are you trying to say about me if I live this particular lifestyle? And what comes with that is, hey, less subscribers, people that unsubscribe, or people that dislike the message, or people that leave negative comments, or people that don't come to me for services. Is it a sacrifice that I'm willing to make? Absolutely. Because I'm about that spiritual life. I know before I put messages out there, I automatically know that my subscriber account is going to drop. And for me, it's like when I see it, I say, all right, they just making room. They're just making room. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes, a lot of times, People jump on a bandwagon of this spiritual journey and they say, I'm ready for it. I'm about that spiritual life. I'm committed to that, until they hear something that makes them question themselves. Until they hear something that says, hold up now, you still got some more work to do. And then they jump ship. And that's where, even when you're talking about biblical text, you talk about those who are lukewarm, those who, are you really about that life? Are you really ready, or are you straddling the fence? Are you lukewarm in this thing, or are you all in? You see what I'm saying? You'll find out when you get to that particular place in the journey, when you hear something or something is presented to you that triggers you. And it's like, hold up. But if that's what that means, then no. At the same time, that same person might have supported everything that you said for 2 years straight, until you say something about that one thing that deep down inside they know they need to heal. They know they need to address. If you really about that spiritual life, then you are committed to becoming the best version of yourself, even when it hurts, even when it's like, man, but I'm so strongly connected and attached to this particular lifestyle or this particular person or this particular way of thinking that just, it just irks me to hear that. And so then are you going to jump ship, or are you going to say, you know what, let me talk to the Most High and my spiritual team about this thing that is triggering me and why? Let me see if there's something going on within me that I need to change within myself, so that I'm not taking this personally, but yet I'm receiving it as a message that's being channeled through that particular person over there, that particular person over there. Let me receive it humbly and go to the Most High about this thing. Not everybody is ready for this. This is not for the weak or the weary. The spiritual path is the narrow path. Don't let nobody tell you different. You will hear a lot of people saying that religion, particular religious belief systems, is the narrow path. It ain't narrow if it's crowded. Okay? It ain't narrow if it's crowded. If you saying, well, 50% of the world believes in this and, 45% of the world believes in that over there, that's some crowded pathways. So they got to be wide in order to fit all them people. But the spiritual path is narrow for a reason, because it requires for you to be able to withstand judgment and ridicule. Ain't nobody out here calling judgment to the average Christian or the average Muslim. They might fight amongst one another. Now, you might see, as you can see what's going on over there on the other side of the globe, but that is less about religion and more about power, territory, ownership of land that don't belong to neither one of them, right? But when we're talking about those who are taking the wide path, you're not going to hear people ridiculing them like that, because the majority already believe in that. But when you're talking about those of you who are taking the spiritual journey, where you are completely removed from all things that society said was right, because you realize that that's all a part of the matrix. That's all a part of the illusion to, get you into inclusion, the illusion of inclusion, and you're not interested in being included in anything. You're just interested in staying on your path. That's when you get the ridicule. That's when people say that you are less than a child of the Most High God. That's when people tell you that you are practicing in darkness and that you are a witch or a warlock. That's when you hear those types of things. It's from the people that don't understand why you would take a path that they don't know, that they're afraid of, that they have been told is coloring too far outside of the lines. You took that path because you was divinely destined to take that path. That's what you was formed and created to do. So you had to get on the journey. But not everybody is going to make it, because there comes a time down that path. There's going to be many times where it gets uncomfortable as hell. Why? Because you still facing yourself. You're still fighting off your own demons. You're still fighting off your own carnal nature. You're still coming into realizing who you are from your organic standpoint, getting back to your roots, getting back to your origin before you was traumatized, before you was violated, before you was molested, before you was hurt, before you had your first heartbreak and your second heartbreak and your third heartbreak, before you went through poverty. I'm talking about that authentic version of you that is untainted. And that spiritual path makes you face all of that. And it can be a very dark, dark journey. That's why they call it the dark night of the soul, because you got to face all of those things that have been embedded and pushed down and suppressed on a soul level. Things that you ain't faced in years comes back up because the Most High wants to ensure that all of that dead weight is falling off of you so that as you take that journey, you become lighter and lighter and lighter in your energy. Because you're going to always have naysayers that's going to be throwing boulders in your pathway, that's going to be throwing things to try to cause stumbling blocks along the way because they don't want to see you take that journey because they're too afraid. So those boulders looks like, people saying that you're wicked, people saying that, you're a witch, you don't believe in the Most High. People telling you that, you're crazy. You've lost your mind. You're going to get all of those type of boulders. But guess what? The lighter that you get in your energy, the more of that inauthentic nature that you just allow to fall off because you're doing the work to heal, the easier it is to glide over those boulders. You become so light in your energy to the point where you flying over them with ease because you ain't weighed down with fear. You're not weighed down with insecurities. You're not weighed down with, illusions, abandonment, codependency. All of that stuff is being cleared. The narrow path is not for the weary. I'm telling you now. Are you really about that spiritual life? When you're called to come forward and to bring divine messages or to carry out divine assignments that looks nothing like what society is used to, are you about that life to where you're ready to say, I will take what seems to be losses in the eyes of man, but in the eyes of my spiritual nature, my higher self, I recognize that this is all gains because I'm dying to my carnal nature. I'm dying to my ego, the unhealthy aspect of my ego. And I am willing to take on this assignment, even if in the 3D it looks like I'm taking losses, it's really gains. Are you about that spiritual life? It's going to be a lot of times where you have to remind yourself, this is all smokescreen. Everything that you see in the 3D is smokescreen. It's smokes and mirrors, right? It's smoke and mirrors because everything that is physical disintegrates with time, right? It loses its value or it completely diminishes. It disintegrates with time. And so therefore, everything that you accumulate in the material realm is all illusions. What is real is the spiritual nature of who you are, your spirit, your soul, your higher consciousness. That's what's real. And that's what ascends. That's what gains value. The more that you heal, the more that you gain wisdom, the more that you go with the flow of life and have that divine connection to the Most High, Mother and Father, and your spiritual team. That is where the value lies. And so when you become lighter in your energy and less dense, like your vibrations become higher and higher, you become less and less attached to the material realm. And that's why it becomes that much easier to carry out your assignment, because along the way, you will take losses. Along the way, you will have that boss that says, you know what, I got to let you go because I don't like the fact that you're wearing an ankh now. They might not outright tell you that, but they might find an excuse to let you go because they don't like that you are representing something that goes against what they believe in. You might have a situation where you have to, leave a particular career path because you are now starting to realize that that particular thing that you have been doing goes against what you know to be true now that you have awakened. And so you end up having to walk away even from that. If, for example, if you're, a nurse, like I was, registered nurse, giving out pills, chemicals, and things of that nature. But the more that I awaken, the more I realize that's not saving you. That's suppressing symptoms that are creating more symptoms that is further causing the body to disintegrate much more rapidly. And so if I would have stayed and said, all right, I'm going to still fulfill my assignment, but I got to hold on to this position because I worked hard to get this nurse's license and it pays decent and it looks good. and I've put in X amount of time, the Most High would have said, the Most High would have laughed at me. Really? Are you really going to have one foot in and one foot out? Can you really wake up every day and go to work and do something that you know goes against what I have taught you? The wisdom that I have given you to see clearly what you're doing to people every single day? Can you really tread the line and carry out your assignment? Absolutely, I would not have been able to do it. And so in the 3D, people will look at that and say, she's lost everything. Ha ha ha. Look at her. Oh, she's definitely living the life of darkness. And she's definitely worshiping evil, because if she wasn't, she would still have her career. She would still be making money as a nurse. She would not have never gone through living in hotels for 2 years if she was really on the righteous path. But the righteous path does not always make sense to the unaided eye. Carnal men and women do not understand the chaotic down, the moments of trauma and chaos, and the tower moments that a chosen seed will go through when they take the spiritual path. They don't understand that. And so they mock you and they tell you, you need to come on back to church. You need to go and find Jesus again, because apparently that ain't working for you. But they don't get that the Most High is just dismantling, tearing down, ripping up, things that was rooted that wasn't supposed to be rooted in your life to begin with. And so it looks chaotic. It looks like you're taking losses. It looks like life is in shambles. But the Most High ultimately is like, keep going. Keep going. If you just keep going and push past this storm right here, I promise you, I got something great for you on the other side of that thing. Just keep going. But everybody is not about that spiritual life. When it gets revealed to you that this is your particular assignment, this is your purpose, this is what I want to have you do, you come to a crossroads where you have to make a decision. Can I present this to the world and accept the fact that my mama might turn away from me, my father might turn away from me, my aunt or my uncle, my cousins, my children might turn away from me, because now I have to speak a truth that goes directly against what even I taught them or what they taught me? Or it might embarrass them, or it might humiliate that one over there. Or they might have to now make excuses for why I'm taking this path. Can you stand the rain? Are you really ready for what comes with taking the narrow path? Because it's been too glamorized in religion. It's been way too glamorized. They've told you all you got to do is hold hands, drink of some blood, eat of some flesh, throw a little money at the pastor's feet, pass out, clap, come to church every Sunday and Wednesday, keep on giving everything that you got, jump around, sing, cry, dance, and you are destined to evolve and have this eternal life in heaven. They glamorize that thing. They've made it so easy. It's like cakewalk if you take that path. And this is why many people choose that path, because the spiritual path is chosen for you. People choose religion, but the spiritual path is already chosen for you. Yes, you have the free will to take that path or to go down the wide path, but the Most High is going to keep kicking your butt until you realize that that's just not where you belong. So it ain't going to be no cakewalk over there either, but it is glamorized because it comes with a whole lot less ridicule. And you can keep that job even though it's against your beliefs. You can keep that career path. You can keep that relationship even though you know that it's going against your moral beliefs and what you're being awakened to see. You can keep that friendship even though you know that it goes against what you're being awakened to see. It's a lot of things that you won't have to worry about losing. But if it comes at the cost of losing your spiritual connection to the Most High and not fulfilling your purpose, then you have lost already. Not everybody is ready for this thing. And you better believe when I took on my assignment, I understood that I would be taking some losses. And you best believe Losses in the 3D, what people deem as losses, right? You better believe there was a whole lot of things that I had to be okay with losing the material things in order to gain my spiritual wisdom, in order to gain that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I asked for. I had to lose a lot of material things in order to gain that, because I had to be light enough in my energy to be able to receive messages that was coming from the source, from a higher level, a higher frequency, a higher dimension. You got to be light in your energy. You cannot be dense, holding on to people, places, and things that's just weighing you down because you just have this codependency on things. Because it looks good to have this, because it looks good to have this title, because it looks good to have this particular family structure. Are you really about that spiritual life? I hope this message brought some clarities to those of you who have been asking that question or who have been straddling the fence. Really decide, because it's not for the weak. That's my message for you all. I love you, and I'll talk to you all next time.